Hey people, today I'm changing the shifter seal in a 96 Triumph Thunderbird. Got a little bit of leakage going on down there. I'm going to start the whole project with draining the oil out of the bike, which I want to do an oil change anyhow. So change the filter, get all that done at the same time. But I have a little oil drippage coming out of the right around where the shifter goes into the housing, and it's slopping up the pipe and the side of the engine. It lets a little puddle. Taking off the foot peg assembly, taking off the shifter, take this cover off, and then pop that seal out, put a new gasket in there, put it back together, and we'll be all good. So let's get started. Alright, I have all my supplies ready. I have the oil for the oil change, the oil filter, the gasket for the housing, and the seals for the shifter itself. Now I'm going to get started here, getting my 12mm Allen wrench, taking the oil plug out. I'm gonna go get my pan and drain it. Take the oil filter out, which is in this little housing here. Take that center bolt out, cartridge type filter. Put the new filter in, put the oil plug back in, and then I can get to the other side and start working on that seal. Can't quite see what's going on there. Almost. All right, there it goes. I'll find the stuff in there later. That was a 12mm Allen wrench. Now I'm going to take a 19mm socket and take the cover off for the oil filter and remove the filter. Comes off nice and easy there. Of course, it's gooey, so keep the pan under everything while that's coming out. Alright, drop the old filter out of here. Okay. Now, just slide the old filter off. Take notice that there's a metal washer on each side. Okay. I have some cleaning solvent. I have my part. I have an O-ring pick. Go under the edge of it. Take the old O-ring off. Clean this up. Alright, all my parts are clean. I'm going to put the new O-ring on this tube here. Slide that down where it belongs into its little groove. This is nice and clean in here. Work that back into where it belongs. Maybe I should put a little grease in there. Oh, okay, there it goes. Alright. Have my O-ring here. Just for that part. Spring. Washer, printed side towards the cap like it was when I took it off. The last washer, and slide it back up in there and screw it down. Next is the foot peg bracket bolts. Alright, next take the bolt out of the back of the shifter, which I already have here. Take a magic marker and make a little mark so I know which position the shifter goes back on. Alright, I got the cover part way off and found out the kickstand switch has to come off too. Catches in behind there. Alright, as I was pulling the cover out, the clutch push rod kept trying to follow with it, so I was able to reach behind, push the rod back in, and get the cover the rest of the way off without taking off the hydraulic line. Leave this one bolt in so that the plunger doesn't pop out, and then I took all the bolts. I made a little diagram of the shape of the cover and keep my bolts in order, and now I can clean the back of it, get a little hook in there, pull that seal out, put a little silicone on, push a new seal in, and then I can put it back to clean the back and put the gasket on, then start putting it together. It's nice and clean, and all I have to do is get down around to the bottom there, finish stripping that gasket off, get that nice and clean, and then I can put my compound on there and put the gasket on and start putting it back together. This seal, I'm just going to try to pop this thing out. Of course, this is going to be a bugger. There we go. Just take a little bit. It just has to make a very thin coating. A little on the outside of the seal. Not globs, because you don't want to push it into places where you don't want it. Very, very thin layer on the outside. Make sure that I don't push any extra in with the seal as I'm installing it. And you probably don't actually need that silicone on there, but I just like to put a little extra on just in case. I mean, put a little on just in case, a little added protection. So put that there where it belongs. It's properly bottomed out. It can't go in any deeper. Wipe the excess off. You have a nice clean finish on the outside.